I just want to speak the name of Jesus over every heart and every mind. 'Cause I know there is peace within your presence. I speak Jesus. Today we're going to cover I Speak Jesus by Charity Gayle. And the coolest part about this song, in my opinion, is at the very end, they slip in some super unique, super cool chords you almost never see in worship songs. And it sounds like this. So I'll cover those and show you how to play that little progression there at the end and the bridge. And of course, we'll cover the rest of the song, so stick around for that. And let's take a look at the song and see what's happening. You can download the chart for free. Just check out the link in the description. And by the way, while you're at guitarman.com, you can see how to start a membership for $1. You can test drive every lesson on the site, every guitar course for every level. So check that out while you're there. Let's take a look at the song and what's happening. You'll see this is in the key of E. So what we'll do and what I'll show you in this lesson is mainly the E chord family and how to use those chords to play along. But there's some other options if you don't like the key or you don't like the chord family of E and you want to try something else that's maybe a little easier. You can use a capo on the 2nd fret and use the D chord family and transpose the song. Instead of E, you can use D. And I go through how to transpose easily from any key to any other key or chord family to another chord family on the site. So I'm not going to cover all of that now. Just know that's an option that might be a little easier. Or this is a unique option. This is called a shortcut capo. I love this thing for the key of E. I use it all the time. And it basically sounds like an alternate tuning even though it's not. And it's playing kind of an E sus, so you can build your chords off of that. So your chords are really, really easy, just 1 finger or 2 fingers. So that's an option as well, a shortcut capo. But what we're going to cover is how to actually play it using the E chord family. And if you haven't done a lot of songs using E, this is good practice, so it's good for you to know anyway. And it's not too hard, especially with this song. So the song's in 4/4, which means our strum pattern will have a normal 4/4 strum pattern. We'll cover that. And as far as beats per minute, it's not super fast. So this is another reason why it's a good song to practice your E chord family. So now, as far as the chords, let's jump in and talk about what you'll see most often. Of course, you have an E chord. Now, with most chords in the E chord family, a trick that I always tell people is to keep your ring finger on that string and just slide it to wherever you need to go. Especially with this song, that's going to help a lot. So if you have an E to a C sharp minor, for instance, just keep that ring finger there and slide it all the way up to your 6th fret. Add your pinky underneath. And then your pointer finger is going to go on the 5th string, right here on the 4th fret. Now I'm playing this chord open, which means whatever is normally on these 2 strings is opened up. I do that for songs in E because it connects the chords better. It just sounds a little more open, sounds a little better rather than kind of a pinched sound. So that's up to you, but that's what I do. It sounds a little better to me. That's your C sharp minor open. And then for an A2 or an A open, just keep that same position, pinky and ring, and slide it all the way back down to your 2nd fret. Start on your A string and strum down. And then when you go back to E, keep that ring finger in place. So that's a lot of the song right there. It's just E, C sharp minor to A. Now let's talk about one switch that's a little harder, and that's B to E over G sharp. Now anytime you have a slash chord like E over G sharp, if it's too hard to play, just know you can just play the E. You can play just the first chord that you see. Don't worry about the G sharp, that's the bass note. Your bass player can get it, or you can just not worry about it. But if you want to go for it and try it, let's go to B. So it looks like your A2, let's slide up 2 frets. So a couple different ways to play E over G sharp, but I'm going to show you the easiest way from B to play it. Move your pointer finger down 1 string and your ring finger up 2 strings. Just like that. Your pinky stays in place, so hold that there. B, E over G sharp. Now you will see that on the chorus. And then as a passing chord, which means it's just 1 beat, so it does happen really quickly. So that's how you play that switch. Again, you don't have to do it like that. It's just the easiest way, I think, to go from B to E over G sharp when you see it. And you'll see that in the choruses to start off quite often, and then you're going from there to an A. So that's really the main thing you need to know with chords. I'm going to save the fancy chords for another section, just so you can go ahead and play 90-95% of the song. Now let's talk about your right hand and strumming. Again, this isn't a really fast song, so you can use your common 4/4 strum pattern. So this is the strum pattern I teach for beginners or if you're just starting out. And it may be a little tricky to kind of read it, but just kind of listen to it and hear what's happening. It's down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. The reason I teach this strum pattern is it gets your hand into a motion of just continually going up and down. It sounds like this. Let me speed it up just a little bit and play it for you so you can hear the chord switches. The other thing you can do is just once your hand gets in that pattern, I say this almost every time I talk about strumming, is just get your hand in that groove, and then you don't really have to worry about it. All you have to do then, once your hand is in that groove, that chugga-lugga groove, you just count the measures, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all you have to do to follow along with the strum pattern there. Now, let's talk about something that does happen in the song. I mentioned it earlier with the chords, but when you have a passing chord or a passing note, it just happens in and out for 1 beat. So you have, for instance, your chorus is that B to E over G sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a couple ways to do this. That last beat is the down, up of your strum pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can accent it instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Just accent it with a down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you're just using the chugga-lugga version of a strum pattern, just on the 4, as you count, just switch on the 4, play it, and keep moving. Okay, that'll get you 95% of the way through the song. Now let's talk about my favorite part of these chords you almost never see. These are kind of like gospel chords. You'll hear this progression sometimes in gospel music, and it just pulls your ear out of what's normal into something different, but it still sounds awesome, and then you kind of go back into what is normal on that last bridge. So let's take a look at it. You can see you have most of the bridge, and then it kind of veers off into this. You have a full measure of E. And then you have 2 beats of E, 1, 2, and then you have 2 passing chords, 1, 2. So this happens really fast, but that first chord, so unique. Let's talk about how to play that. This is a D sharp minor 7 flat 5, so it's a mouthful. The way to play it, let's start with an A7 if you've ever played that. Don't worry about the little string, the 1. And play your 2nd fret, 2nd string, skip the 3rd string, and then middle finger here on the D on the 2nd. So you have what looks like that, an A7. And we're going to take this shape all the way up to your 7th fret. And then your pointer is going to act kind of like a capo right behind it on the 6th fret. And it's going to start pressing down in a bar on your 5th. And it'll kind of naturally mute out that high string. And then from here, we're going to jump to a G sharp 7. So G sharp is just a bar chord. If you're confused on bar chords, my advanced course covers everything you could possibly want to know about building chords and how to make unique chords built off of bar chords. So here's your bar chord for G. G sharp 7 just means take your pinky off and bar everything. It kind of looks like E with a capo. And take that pinky off. And then your C sharp minor 7 or C sharp minor is right below. Just move everything down toward the ground, 1 string. You want the sound of 7, take your pinky off. So let me play the whole thing so you can hear what it sounds like. So we're going, I'll play the full bar of E, full measure of E, and then 2 beats of E, and then this switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what comes next is kind of a similar sound, but with different chords. So these are also passing notes. You're going to go from your C sharp minor 7, or your C sharp minor, without the 7's fine, to a B minor 7. So you just go this way for your B minor, take your pinky off for a 7, into E 7, which is just E without your ring finger. So you can hear it has a similar sound. You're just lower down, and that's going to put you back into A. And then you have an F sharp minor. This may be the only time, I think so, in the song where you have an F sharp minor. Lots of different ways to play this chord. The easiest way is an A2 over F sharp. If you're already at A2, just add an F sharp here on top. Easiest way to play it. Again, I cover other ways to play it, but that's the easiest one. And then you're at E. So let me play the whole progression so you can hear it all fleshed out. B minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's your F sharp minor. And then you can land on E. So again, that first part of the song is 95% of what you need with the E chord family. And then your right hand just playing a common 4/4 strum pattern. And if you want a challenge, add in those extra gospel sounding chords and you'll be playing the song I Speak Jesus.